any questions, comments, concerns, anything else that we're missing. So looks like the last 2 weeks, especially, well, in 2 weeks, busy weekend for us. Friday, Saturday, and potentially Sunday. I mean, we don't really have to show up on both days of a 2-day event, but at least one of those days. So we clear on Malcolm X Day and expectations, and it'll be the same thing for African Liberation Day. It'll probably be, I think that'll be at Beloved Community Church, I think.
What I seen what was the date on that? God, I seen it right.
African Liberation Day, April 27th.
April 27th.
Yeah.
Bro, President John, this is Right Ebony. Greetings.
Greetings.
I wanted to comment and say I'm available as well. I just send me the lineup of what time we got to be there and what all we need to be prepared for. But I'm definitely available for the entire list of events. So just let me know what all you need and I'll be there.
Okay, thank you, Second Lady Vice President. And the way this is supposed to work is that's supposed to be part of the responsibility of our corresponding secretary office. Once we, agree on what the plan is and we start to get information and times and things like that, our corresponding department should be sending this information out. But that's something else that I'll talk about more later is our responsibilities and our jobs as officers and expectations as officers. So, all right, I'll have more information on African Liberation Day next week at mass meeting, as well as Malcolm X Day next week at mass meeting. Some of the other things that we've talked about that I want to make sure we continue to have a focus on is our youth, schools, trying to work with schools and doing sports tournaments or supporting sports tournaments. If it's something that we have to do on our own or something that others are already doing that we can support, we need to have a maintained focus of that. Brother Kimwardo, I know, has we've talked about this in the past, and let me see. There are some, we do have some support, but before I make that official, I wanted to make sure that we were in agreement as to anything that we wanted to do. And what I'm talking about specifically is we were talking about doing I think it was a basketball tournament, Brother Camardo.
Say that again. Say that again.
Were we talking about doing a basketball program for the community or what?
Yeah. I got the whole facility in College Park. I got the coordinator that's over racing. Say he willing to help out, but I put it in my other chat. I know we talked about it, but nobody ain't get no response. So.
And that's why I'm bringing it to our executive body. Like I said, this is something we've talked about. I think it's a good idea, but we need to have commitment as we approach, these people and organizations. So, if I wanted Brother James to be here, I know he's been working quite a bit, and that's not, that's the author, Brother James, not Baba James, but both of the James brothers should be here. All right, well, we got to table that for now, but we'll like I said, I need to maintain focus on it. That's why it keeps coming up. Elders,
President John.
Yes, sir.
Oh, can I speak to that real quick before you move on?
Yeah.
I mean, years ago, when Ice Cube came on the scene, I thought about 3-on-3 tournament, and thought about ways to help him if it's 3-on-3 from all the way down to youth. and matriculate all the way up to college, where 3-on-3 make it a big thing. So I do have a business plan written for a 3-on-3 tournament that I can share with y'all. So I could be on that committee with you, Brother Kim, while help out with that, because that's something I've been thinking about for a minute, and we're trying to figure out a way kind of real Ice Cube in to the fold. But I'll share that with the email, President John. You can share it with the group.
Okay, thank you. And that's really what it comes down to. This is our executive body. We need everybody to be here, but we also need individuals to step up and take the responsibility. Ideas are just ideas, but they require individuals to work them and to make them into a reality. So thank you, Brother Macy's. We'll continue that discussion. And as I said, that is a important component. All of this stuff that we're talking about are important components. So we'll continue to talk about that, and that'll be a continued focus. Another one is elders. Mama Amina is not on the call tonight, is she? No, she's not. She has discussed with me several times in the past about elder coordinator, the position of elder coordinator. We can't forget about our elders. We should be, looking after them, being aware of their needs and their situations, going to visit them at homes or whatever that may be. These are things that I think we can do and we should be doing if we are a organization that's concerned about our people. So the youth and the elders, those are other than current events, those will be continued things that we discuss, as well as what should be in there is prisoner support, our political prisoners and things like that. We have to make sure we have a continued focus on all of those. So I'll continue to work with Mama Amina, Attorney Imhotep, as our reigning elder right now. I may need your help as well, and I may pull in President Ross Marvin to find out some ideas of what is considered an elder, first of all, who's in that category, who's not, and what we should be doing and what we should be aware of to support our elders and to utilize that knowledge, that wealth of knowledge that they have. Attorney Imhotep, is that okay?
Yes. No problem, President John.
All right, thank you. So let me go ahead and got some brothers stepping up, as well as sisters. It's not in order of importance or anything like that. I'm just putting down individuals' names. African Liberation Day, bro. Yes. Okay, charity programs, feeding programs, that's also something Brother Kimwardo has been helping us with, as well as myself. I'm just letting y'all know, as an executive body and as me as president, these are the things that I consider important. So coming out of HEC, I believe I put an email together. Everybody should have gotten that. But I listed kind of some things, some priorities that I had in mind, and asking our officers to add to those priorities. So,
Brother John, I'm sorry.
okay.
Before we move on to youth, we have a free multimedia class at our movie studio. It's in Douglas, Georgia. It's a 3-hour drive on Tuesdays at 4:30 to 6 for kids. And I was wondering if that could be an initiative where we kind of put together a bus trip
Wow,
and
so
take some
how
kids
long did you
down.
say it was?
3-hour drive.
Whew.
So it could be a summer program where we take the kids down, but get away. you don't have to go. You might have some parents that want to learn making a movie too. They might want to chaperone the trip. But
I'm with you, brother Macy. Just table that for a second. Like, I hear what you're saying. Let me take a step back though. The thing is, we need to committees is the word that's coming to my mind. So right now it's about the establishment of committees. We, as officers, we always have to be bringing in new to help with these committees. But as far as the details of what will be discussed in those committees, I didn't want to get too deep into that. It's just more so, these are the individuals that I'll, look to help in these different areas. So from a youth perspective, I've got yourself, Sister Ra Ebony, Brother Kinwardo, and Brother James as a potential committee, and myself, obviously.
Okay, that'll be cool. And I'm gonna let you know when our next feeding program is gonna be.
Okay. Thank you. I think we have the Nation of Islam and the Moors are something at the end of this month.
Right to jail. Okay. Did he have a flyer out yet?
No, he was just texting to agree upon a date. I want to say it's like African Liberation Day, the 27th.
Like right on African Liberation Day?
I believe so.
Okay. That'd be cool.
Yeah. We'll know something about mass meeting. And another thing, as I said again, group support, collective support. So as we're doing things, charity programs, youth programs, elder programs, I need everyone to support these programs. I don't, we shouldn't just be supporting the programs that we propose. We should be working together to support all of these programs. These are our attempt, to have official government programs from Division 421. So I just need everyone's support. Also, from a youth perspective, I skipped over colleges. The AUC, the Atlanta University Center, Spelman and Morehouse. I know that they have days during the week where they have vendors that can come in. I don't know the situation or how that works, but I think that this would be a good opportunity for us to get our foot in the door with the schools. So Morehouse is on Wednesday. It's called Hump Wednesday. And then Spelman on Friday. They have an event called Market Friday where they allow vendors to come in and sell things and, share information. So these are more additional opportunities for us to work with the schools. I've tried to, we have to find a way to get in. The schools are very, I don't know, it's almost capitalistic at this point. Like they're not pursuing organizations or individuals based upon their benefit to the community. It's just, hey, do you have $1,000? Can you pay this $1,000? And if you can, then yeah, you have access to our children. So we got to play that game a little bit. But I have more information on that as well. But the colleges, we can't forget about the colleges in regards to our youth. So I need more. These are just two ideas, but we'll need to continue to discuss these things. So we talked about charity feeding programs. We got to expand that as well. I think we can do like clothes drives or, back to school events. we should be expanding our charity programs. But in addition to that, charitable fund. So if you're not aware, we officially started our charitable fund. I think somebody had a question.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for Colonel James, but he used to run a free store. So I think he may be good on the charitable funds committee with him, because his experience in that area. I mean, he used to he acquired clothes, he acquired food, and all different type of things. He was in the loft in Metropolitan Loft. That was his free store.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, charitable fund. I think that would go more into the charitable programs. The charitable fund, where I was going with that is donations and things. So anything that we get from our executive officers and everyone, I want to applaud y'all. Y'all have been very instrumental in allowing us to be successful, throughout our existence as a division and throughout this year. We're doing well. Let me caution that we're surviving financially, and I do appreciate everyone's input. In regards to our account fund, we probably have, let me see, I think we have about $700 in the bank account right now. We still have maybe $100 in our PayPal, but I need to pay about $400 for our division dues. I still haven't paid our division dues for the year. I did pay up last year, but I got to pay up this year. So we'll have about a little over $500 in our account, which is fine. It for what we do and how we do things, it allows us to survive. So we could do a lot better, but we're doing okay. And with that, I wanted us to think about some investment opportunities. And I know $500 is not a lot of money. It's not 5 million, but it's still something. We can, purchase more flags, some Black government IDs, information, T-shirts. The T-shirts did very well. But I want us to get to the point where when we spend money, it's not all expense. Some of it is investment. So I need us to think about those things and from each of our departments. So we'll eventually get to the point where we can have budgets, yearly budgets. But right now, our finances are focused towards programs and events. But if you have a good program or event that we can put some funds towards, or an investment idea, and now I'm not talking about like just stocks or I'm talking about grassroots type investment stuff that we can produce ourselves. Then I'm all ears. I'm all ears for that. Any questions, comments so far? It's 2:00. I said this was going to be short. I'm taking longer than I expected, but I'm getting ready to wrap up in a second.
Okay. Oh, no, I did mean Papa James program.
What's that?
I said I did mean Papa James programs and not.
Okay, cool. The fund is kind of all of us, really. All of us as officers should be aware of, supporting, promoting our charitable fund, because we that's what we use for charitable programs. But like I said, if we can invest some of that excess that we don't need to pay dues, that will help us out in the long run. Another thing is supporting other organizations. So, and I need to make this list longer. So they had in Cobra at Brother Kenwardo's event last night. Let me see, Shrine of the Black Madonna in there. Yeah, Shrine. But two things here. One is our energy support, attending their events. promoting their events, working with the brothers and sisters, having that relationship. And two, from a division standpoint, I would like for us to get to the point where we can financially support some of these groups. So I'm not talking like $1,000, but if we could give $100 to a group or 2 or 3 groups, that's something that, you know, I would like to do, you know, on our behalf as a division. So, any questions, comments on that? Okay. Economics, as I said, as I've intertwined into the discussion, economics always has to be important, and beyond just member dues. But Brother Macias has, you know, several ideas, and I know he's itching to start sharing these ideas. So I'm not going to take up too much time. If there's some other individuals that have something to say, we'll get to that in just a second. List of Black businesses. Yeah, we should have a database, you know, as the CBPM was trying to produce. We should know Black businesses in our city and in our state, if possible, but at the very least in our city. Mama Mina started working on that for High Executive Council, gave a small list, but I think we can get an extensive list and kind of have that same type of relationship, as I said, with supporting other organizations. So we're providing our energy support, we're providing our financial support, and hopefully that can be reciprocated to where these businesses would support the UNIA and Division 421. So that's another idea. Black government IDs, as always, we have to continue to promote that. And from a constitutional perspective, these, well, Juneteenth isn't in there, but the other things on the right. Any questions, comments? It's 2:00. So I think I'm gonna stop with what I have here, and just if anybody had anything that they wanted to share with our executive body while we have everybody here. Wait, yeah. One other thing, financial report. So one of the things that I did this year is wanted to kind of be proactive, I guess, or whatever, just optimistic. So everyone that all of our officers, pretty much, I gave credit for dues assessments throughout the year, at least up until March. I wanted to make sure everybody had the opportunity. Let me see, March, April. Make sure everybody had the opportunity to participate in HEC, make sure that was taken care of financially. But not everyone did pay up front. Most of y'all did. A couple people did not, but I'm just saying we have already made the financial contribution to, or we're not we haven't made, because I said I got to do it, but we already planned, and it's in our books, that individuals are paid up. I want it to be for the year, but at least until March. So for those that have not, I would like everyone to pay their dues. If you cannot pay your dues, or if there's some financial reasons as to why you cannot pay your dues, please let me know. But paying dues is a fundamental expectation of all of our officers. So, all right, with that, I didn't even share the financial spreadsheet. So with that, that's all I have. Anyone else have anything right now?
Yeah. I have something to say. Okay. For the past 6 weeks, I've been going to some. It's something that Derek Bozeman, Whitey Davis sponsor and put together at the YMCA on Compton Road every Monday. Starts at 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I've been going. It's called the Black Men's Lab. I'm gonna send you flyer, brother, y'all. That's a good way and it's therapy. It's actually therapy. You know what I mean? It's group therapy for all the brothers. As in the city, people come from other states, you know, from out of town and stuff. Came. Well, in other words, that'll be for us that live in the Atlanta metro area. That'd be a good place for us to come start attending. I see it's called Black Men's Lab. You can look it up on Instagram as well as Facebook.
Yes, sir. Brother Eduardo, I have supported them as well. I haven't been able to go recently, but I am aware this is a group that we support and try to work with, and they have given us a platform in the past. So I would include them in organizations that we want to support this year and move forward.
Okay.
So yeah, Monday. I thought they had two. They don't have the one on Tuesdays no more.
No, not that I know of. Monday, every Monday, 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. On Campbell Road,
Okay.
2220 Campbell Road, the YMCA.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to, support as we can, but I would, as I'm saying, and the vibe that I get coming out of HEC, we need to have a collective presence and a collective showing. So we need to have at least 3 representatives, and this is Black Man's Lab, so it will be men. We need at least 3 men to show up and let the community know that the UNIA is active and we are representatives of the UNIA.
Because I'm a registered with them, so I've been representing this, but we good for a couple of more brothers coming on.
Yeah, but I understand. I've been doing that as well, but I'm just saying we need to be more collective. That's all. So me, you, we'll figure out somebody else, a third person. Are you planning on going tomorrow?
Yep, that's my plan. I'm trying to go every month. That's gonna come up, bro.
Yeah, it's been tough for me to get up there on Mondays because I'll be working.
Is it only on Mondays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but we got it on the list. We, like I said, we'll continue to bring these names back up and these organizations, and we gotta expand it as well. Thank you, Brother Eduardo. Yes, sir. One of the things that I wanted to have ready for today, but I didn't quite. But I'm going through our bylaws, and I'm breaking down each of the responsibilities of each of the offices. And one thing that I will tell y'all, one of the common expectations for each office is to pay dues and to have reports. So whether they're written is preferred. We can get to that later. We don't have to do that right now, but at the very least, we need to have verbal reports from our office. So for me, for president, a verbal or written report as to what I've been doing for the month or what my plans are for the month, or a combination of the two. As president, I'm responsible to give our membership a report of what happens on our president's calls and things like that. And we just had a president's call this past Wednesday. The main discussion was High Executive Council and how the participants at High Executive Council felt about the proceedings, the proposals, the resolutions, the usage of time, and so forth. And I think one of the general thoughts coming out of it was we will have to spend more time on resolutions and proposals. So if we have to stay at High Executive Council till 12 at night to get things done, then that will be what we will do. And I agree with that you know, that sentiment. For me, these meetings, you know, that's one of the most important parts of these meetings, convention and high executive council, is to get the voice of the people and have an understanding of what the people want, and to make a vote on what the government will do in response to what the people have requested. So if we can't do that properly or efficiently or timely, respectfully, then what are we doing? You know, in my opinion. So we're looking at that. That was the main topic. It's funny, you know, Brother Mason, you were there as well. Thank you for being there. It's funny, like they were talking about, you know, high executive council and the importance of high executive council and getting everybody's feedback. And then they went around the whole call and got everybody's feedback on how they felt, but they didn't ask me or they didn't ask Brother Macias. So they got everybody's feedback except for the feedback of division officers of the host division, which I thought was kind of interesting. But that's another point. But anyway, reports are important. Any questions, comments so far? I'm gonna breeze through this really quick in 5 minutes. I know I'm like 15 minutes over already. No questions, cool. Y'all sure no questions? All right. But we have to go through this more in depth. I may call a meeting next Saturday to go through this in depth, because when it comes to officers, the words that come to my mind are responsibility, accountability, and capability. You know, are we capable to carry out our responsibilities? And, you know, can we be held accountable for the responsibilities that we say we're going to carry out? So for the president, I'm responsible to the convention and president general for being constitutional. And I need Attorney Imhotep to help me with that. Responsible for having a successful division. In my mind, that comes down to, you know, just making sure we pay our dues and things like that. And we are abiding by the Constitution, obviously. Growing is additional to that, but at the very least, we have to survive. Preside at general meetings. I have to be at all of our general meetings. Declare offices vacant. This is a constitutional provision. If officers are not performing in their office, it's my job and my responsibility to declare that office vacant. So I have not really enforced this, but I do see the value of it, because we can't have stagnant individuals holding office. Let me check and see who's on before I make one individual, for example. Don't be nervous, anybody, is our chaplain. Chaplain has come and gone in the past, but he has not been consistent. And me as president, based on the Constitution, I should have a long time ago declared that office vacant and had someone replace that position. So just be aware. I want everybody to be clear on what the expectations are. Share information from the parent body. So that's what I just talked about with High Executive Council. Attend monthly parent body meetings and attend international gatherings. So High Executive Council convention, basically the president is the, you know, if no one else is there, the president is there to be the voice of the division, to be the voice of the jurisdiction of our area and our region. So that's the primary thing that the president is supposed to be doing. That's really all that I'm supposed to be doing, is just kind of, you know, relaying the voice of the people. And then let me see, Lady President, she's supposed to be president of Black Cross Nurses. She's responsible for our other lady presidents, and she is supposed to be at our public gatherings as well, and make reports to myself as president. Executive Advisory Board will consist of our lady president, our treasurer, President Ross Marvin, first vice president, first lady vice president, and counsel general. They're responsible to settle disputes and make sure, you know, we're being constitutional and no one is doing any bribery or disloyalty. I'm not gonna go through that. Executive secretary, which we don't have. This is a position that's appointed by the President General. Very important position, but they're responsible for all of our monthly reports. At the end of the day, they're responsible for making sure members pay dues, the Garvey Voice subscriptions. They're the head of all secretaries, and they maintain our resources such as social media, bank accounts, things like that, and they must attend all of our meetings. So we don't have an executive secretary. It's a very important position. Mama Amina has voiced her intentions to hold this position, but she has never been appointed by the President General. So officially, this is still an open position for our division. First Vice President, Brother Macias, he helps the division president as needed. According to our bylaws, Brother Macias should be hosting our Tuesday study groups. And I'm not trying to say this to put anybody on the spot, even though it does. And I appreciate Brother Macias for being the first one and being so humble about being on the spot. I'm not trying to call anybody out. Again, this is a agreed level of understanding. So we haven't really gone through this in detail in the past. So we can claim, hey, I didn't know what I was exactly supposed to be doing. But this is just the beginning. Again, next week, I kind of want to go through this more in depth, but just generally, based on our bylaws, which everyone should have, I sent that out. This is the responsibilities of the first vice president. Help the president as needed. And I broke it down into what the bylaws say and what actual actions are from the division. And this will be updated as far as what actual takeaways, what to-do lists each office should have. I'll update that for next week. But it should be helping the president as needed, hosting the Tuesday study groups, attending and host for agenda and host for executive meetings. So Brother Macias, as our first vice president, should be setting up our executive meetings and creating the agenda for our executive meetings, which is a heavy responsibility, but it's a good thing at the same time. And I think it's something that he will enjoy because he will, be able to determine what the topics of discussion are. So contact offices for executive meeting, monthly reports. As I said, everyone should be given monthly reports. Responsible for the other vice presidents being successful and engaging with the president. Second vice president, Brother Kimwardo, is actually our legal defense committee coordinator according to our constitution. Second vice president should be preparing constitutions and providing constitutions for our members. We haven't really had a lot going on with this. This is something that I've kind of handled as people have been available at High Executive Council and to attend the Omanala Griot. Most people should have a copy of the Constitution. Everyone who is an active dues paying member is due a Constitution. So if you don't have one, please let me know and I will arrange to get one mailed to you as soon as possible. I'll work with Brother Kimwardo to make sure he gets one mailed to you. Second vice president should be updating our international laws, report local legal concerns, help the first vice president work with the third vice president. And I think an unwritten expectation is working with our legal defense committee coordinator. So our second vice president and our legal office should be tied off very tightly. But second VP is like our legal vice president. Third vice president is responsible for African Redemption Fund, our charitable fund, per our bylaws, the hip hop community, recruiting new members, speaking on social media, organizing reports of charitable funds, charitable fund brochure, creating and promote donations to charitable funds. So I need to talk with Brother Cornelius about these responsibilities. Right now, we've got Brother Cornelius kind of as our agriculture coordinator. But when it comes to African Redemption Fund and promotion and social media engagement, I've got to talk with him to make sure those responsibilities are understood. First Lady Vice President, Sister Tania, is our division's executive, is intended to be our division's executive secretary. Again, that has to be approved or by President General. She should be helping our Black Cross nurses. She'd be helping our lady president where needed, and making sure our other lady vice presidents are successful. And a monthly report from the parent body secretary calls. So as executive secretary, first vice president, first lady vice president should be making reports from our executive secretary calls. Second lady vice president, Sister Ra Ebony, per our bylaws, and again, you know, this is not written in stone, I guess. We can still kind of adjust it, but per our bylaws, the way things are set up now, second vice president is our corresponding secretary who would correspond with our members, create monthly reports, responsible for member contact information, email, phone number, and mailing address, send meeting and invites, and any meeting and event invites. So if we got events going on or anything, collectively, you know, the corresponding secretary should be sending out that information. Help with the administration, 421 administration, I guess that's just general, and then Black Cross nurses. So third lady vice president is open position, helping with the Black Cross nurses, helping our lady vice president, and assistant first and second lady vice president. Recording secretary, open position. This is an important position. We need to fill this, honestly, in my opinion, right now. And that's why I had to take some time to record our meeting. I'm using our recordings as our recording secretary, but we should have written documented summaries so that we don't have to have, you know, a digital file like this. But recording secretary records the meeting minutes, read the previous minutes read the minutes of the previous meeting, and report on monthly parent body calls. So basically, the recording secretary just documents everything that we're doing, what we're talking about, who was in attendance, so forth. Very important in my opinion, though. All right, and I'm not gonna go through all of it. Treasurer Ross Marvin, he monitors the budget of Division 421, division monthly reports. He should be provide a fiscal year financial report. Responsible for Black bank account. We bank with Citizens Trust. Ensure funds are used for the aims and objects of the organization, and also campaign for past dues. So members to pay their past dues. Assistant Treasurer, Brother Andrew. He must know the responsibilities of the Treasurer and the Financial Secretary. Should make reports to the Treasurer. There's Financial Secretary. Financial Secretary collects the funds of the division at events and at mass meetings, and gives those funds to the Treasurer. Attend monthly parent body meetings, create and maintain financial records, creates monthly financial reports, prepare records for audit, campaign to get past dues, and purchase supplies as needed. Right now, I'm holding this position, but this is another important position that we need to have filled. This position does require a higher level of, I guess, security clearance would be the best word to say, or best way to describe it. But when we're given this much information and access to an individual, they have to be well trained and show a level of commitment before they can fit into that role. All right, a couple more. We'll be out of here in a few minutes. Office of the Chaplain, Brother Chaplain Monta Mitchell, spiritual advisor, confer titles, honors, and degrees. So when we have celebrations or graduations, our chaplain should be there giving out these degrees. Shall attend meetings and events. Make sure all members receive a copy of UNIA rituals. And those would be like the pledge, national anthem, so forth, so on. teach members UNIA song and Ethiopian national anthem. So that's what our chaplain should be doing. And again, me as president, I have to hold everyone not accountable to, but to some standard, and that's another thing. What this meeting is about is for us to have an agreed level of expectation. And if these things are not what should be expected, then there should be an understanding, a mutual understanding.
President John.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry to interrupt. Going back to the chaplain. There's I was in Philadelphia, and in there, and there's actual UNIA ritual book, and then it's like an order of service for the chaplain with all the hymns in it and the prayers that they did back in the day. They give this a whole like ritual booklet on how like to have a Sunday service. So I think that's the ritual that's talking about that we all should have. Yeah, he should give out.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I got to get that from we don't have I don't think we have like a head chaplain in the parent body, but I'm sure the Secretary General will have that information. So we got to get that updated. Thank you, Brother Macias. Any other questions so far? All right. African Legion, Robert James. I got to expand this as well. So according to the bylaws, it says responsible a system of training and discipline and receives money for uniforms. Couple of things that I want us to focus on is one, from a physical standpoint, conditioning. So just being able to move ourselves and things for a long distance in a short amount of time and not be exhausted. Like, let me see, hand-to-hand, I guess, hand-to-hand combat. Wait, before that, first aid. So conditioning first, being able to heal and help other people second, condition, hand-to-hand combat third, and then fourth, you'll get into like, weapons and things like that. But I don't want weapons to, be our primary thing, and that's the only thing that we know how to do and how to use. We have to have a foundation, prior to that. Let me put discipline in here somewhere. And what that means we'll define later. I think I got one thing that I'll talk about that later. Agriculture, Brother Cornelius, responsible to coordinate farming, educate membership on food safety and preservation, work with the youth to harvest crops, and develop a self-reliance food co-op among African people in our jurisdiction. So I got to talk with Brother Cornelius and see if these are realistic expectations or if these need to be changed or if a new position needs to be created. But all right, that's all I really got. Just got some follow-up stuff. Business department, manage all business operations, buy, sell division merchandise. So t-shirt, flags, buttons, calendars, black government IDs, have an inventory of our goods. So our business department, should be closely tied off with me as president because I have access to this inventory. So kind of I owe Brother Macias this inventory, but Brother Macias, I need you to, remind me that I owe you this stuff and kind of that's your responsibility. Community outreach, liaison for community events. So letting us know what's going on, attend community functions and recruits for the UNIA, spread UNIA propaganda in the community and online, and develop community outreach programs, which I think Brother Macias, not Macias, Brother Kimwardo is doing all of those things right now for the most part. So and I think the last one I had was education. There are more. I didn't finish this, but yeah, I just want everybody to be clear on this thing, governance, Garveyism is not easy. And it takes, it's not something that all of our people, I believe, are capable of doing. So we have to be that standard and set the example. And I was elected, or I've been, elected as to be the president. So I have to step up and do my job and handle my responsibilities as president. And one of those responsibilities is to make sure our executive body is functioning properly. So it's 2:33. We've been on for an hour now. I don't have anything else. Does anybody have anything before we move to close?
I would say on Jersey, everybody's local, like that business development call.
You sound a little distorted, brother Mason. You on speakerphone or something? Brother Macy's.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
All right. That's on Thursday. If anyone's available, I'd like to have a business development call to go over some business ideas that we can interact and start bringing in funds for the division.
So you talking about revamping the business call that we had on Thursdays?
Yes.
All right. Well, hold on. All right. Let me see. I'm with it. I'm with it 100%.
I'm definitely forward too. I just got off the new Black Panther Party call, and they're looking to do the same thing that we are doing. So I think it'd be helpful to help our brothers and sisters in the mission, to help them organize with us and to develop that part of the organization. I just heard Brother President John speak about arms and security and defense of things of that nature, and that's is their main MO. The new Black Panther Party, that is a security and defense. So I'm definitely down for the business call myself, so that I can also incorporate these things that they're doing as well, and hopefully we can unite and work together.
Yes. All right. Now hold on. Wait. Well, first thing, Sister Rodney, yes, you can definitely support. And I want to know, we need to know what New Black Panther Party, when they have events and things like that, and how we can support. So please keep us aware of their schedule of events, and I hope that you can do the same as far as what we are planning on doing and the events that we're planning on supporting, and hope share that with our brothers and sisters. I do want to keep and I have to do this. We have to keep our meetings and our committees focused. So I do not want to mix business with defense, basically. So I know there is some overlap in that, but I don't want our discussions about how we can sell T-shirts to turn into a defense program. That's all I'm saying. So I want to keep those separate, and keep the Thursday meeting focused on business.
Okay, understood. I was just saying, I know, like I said, you had spoke on security and defense, like with Bubba James. So I didn't know if that was like something to put on the table for that particular committee to discuss. But I was, putting that out there, saying that, they can associate themselves with that particular organization, to expand and to grow knowledge within our brothers and sisters. So that's definitely understood, to stay in lanes, definitely. But I was just putting that out there for the defense.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes. The approach that I would recommend is, from a organizational standpoint, the way our organization works, the way our government works, is one, getting buy-in from the president. So buy-in from me, based on our structure, it does give a lot of we do have a lot of executive power in the position of president. Second, I would say, is Baba James, as our head of African Legion, get his buy-in. He's vocally committed, that he would like to take on that responsibility. So get his buy-in, get his support, and a collective direction. And then third, if we can't get Baba James, is our executive body. So this group right here, if we make the proposal, to work with the new Black Panther Party, I think that that's something that it would not, honestly, it would not override the president constitutionally, but I would still go along with it. And I think it wouldn't, I don't even know if it would override Baba James, but it would help in having a collective, cohesive proposal. That's all. So first, I would just put it on the table right now. Does anybody have any issue with us working with the new Black Panther Party? Is anyone aware of that?
And also, I just want to mention to President John, they're not as developed. Like they don't have as many members in the Atlanta chapter. Like nationally, they are building themselves. So it was more of so about just uniting with the fellowship and just felt like fellowshipping with them and what they have going on and what we have going on, so to see how we can work together when we do have certain events and certain things that are on the table, and they are in association as well. So, it's just something to think about. It's not nothing that, should be written in stone, but, just being on the call and just listening to how, they're trying to build is like, it's like they need some type of direction. And I know being a part of the UNIA, we are way better organized than what they have going on. Like it's something different. So I was just more so thinking about inviting them to, have a sit down and watch how we conduct ourselves and how we actually do, do what we do. And so they can, get a grasp of how they should do what they do, because, iron sharpens iron. So, listening to how, scattered they are, and just how they are so ready to be organized. They just don't have just they don't know the proper science of being organized. And being with the UNIA, we have developed that in the essence of at least being intentional and keeping up with the intentions and actually executing what we set our intentions on. So it was more of a so just letting them sit down and let them hear, listen, watch our presentations, watch how we come together, watch how we organize, and just watch how we just do our thing, just so they can, build their strength up to continue that side of the mission, if that makes any type of sense.
And like, what formation? It's different formations out here. Because I dealt with all of them in the past year. It's been on cars and everything. So, and be honest with you, my experience with both the formations that's down here, I really don't want to deal with them. I really deal with the Royal Black Guard, if anything.
Respect. Makes sense. I mean, I can understand, but I mean, like I said, it's so scattered, and it's like the numbers are so low. Like, it's no type of direction within. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I know, because me, I dealt with it. And don't mean to cut you off, sister. And
no,
all of them tried to recruit me back in the day, so I know. Well, probably not now, but I know the higher ups, the whole layout of both formation that was in Atlanta. And I would rather personally, I would rather not deal with it because I know how they roll.
Oh, okay. Say less, because I mean, it makes sense when you say it like that, because it makes sense because of how the organization is so saturated and how they just like all over the place. So obviously, there's no type of line of communication to where everything could be executed. So I agree. You're right. You're right. That's why I'm glad. I wanted to bring it up to see what y'all had to say about it, because I just noticed it when I was just on the call. Like, wow, But okay, well, respect. Race first.
Race first. Yeah.
Well, first.
This something. I'll be quick. This is something that I'm coming to learn the relationships that have been developed in our area. And sometimes, these past relationships, and as Garvey has said it, the character that has been presented makes it difficult to impossible for us to work together. So I don't, personally have those relationships or experiences. So I'm kind of naive when it comes to working with our other brothers and sisters in other groups, but that experience and that knowledge is needed, and that's why I lean on our executive body.
Absolutely.
I would like to say I believe the only way that it could work is if we not work with them, but they become members of the African Legion. They have many different like brigades, throughout history who had a name for themselves. With that step being taken, them joining the UNIA, then they will be able to take on the persona of how a legionnaire moves. But they still would be able to have the name to be able to attract members as a brigade under the African Legion. But then we would be in a position to be able to give them the diplomacy tools and propaganda tools to present themselves out in our movement with the world in a way that with the diplomacy that we have as a Legion, the same way. So I think that's the only way to actually execute it and make it happen. Is not by partnership, but by them becoming UNIA members, them taking on our mindset, and them moving how we move.
I like that, Brother Kawada. I want to get your thoughts on that before.
Yeah.
One second. Hold on. Before, when I was talking about our Legion and our discipline, we have to have there will have to be a rites of passage for our Legion. With our officers, if you can see, on this page, I've got this little star icon. Our officers, we have to be serious about our rites of passage, which is the message to the people, course of African philosophy. So from a executive officer standpoint, that should be our aspirations. That should be the grading criteria. And from the Legion standpoint, I was just talking with a Brother Obasi. I was talking with Brother Obasi last night, Brother Kimwardo, going over Baba Baruti's book, Iwa.
Iwa course. We took that course a couple of years ago.
So I think that's going to be part of our fundamental requirements of Legion, so such that if someone is under this banner, we know that they have gone through a certain level of character development. But yeah, Brother Kimwardo, what are your thoughts on having New Black Panther Party be a part of African Legion in Atlanta?
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I had a bad experience with all formation, even the UEP New Gun Club that was down here. But I could tell you, the UEP New Gun Club has been converted to the Royal Black Guard, new leadership, Ari Back, OX, the brother that hosts the show, a couple of other brothers that I know. So they them some good brothers to work with.
So
But the New Black Panther Party, I don't. They too messy, man. They undisciplined. It's a lot of manipulation in all of the organizations, man. Tell me, I know from experience. That's what I heard. As once upon a time, I had relationships with all of them. That was the internet.
all right, well I'm gonna just for the sake of time, I think the proposal would be for us to work primarily with the Royal Black Guard. Let's
President John, I think it'll be kind of out of protocol for us to determine anything without Colonel James being here. This is my opinion. I think we should table it to we have him on the call.
Okay. I respect that.
But you president, dog, yeah.
I respect that. Until then, okay, okay. Well, it's just tabled then. Well, no. I'm not going to table it. We will follow up with Baba James, but the lead direction will be to us to establish an initial relationship and partnership with the Royal Black Guard, and our support for new Black Panther Party. We have to figure out a way to do that. It won't be a. It doesn't sound like there'll be a partnership, but we still may be able to support them. They are still brothers and sisters. But we'll follow up with Baba James and get his official his official opinion as well.
Second that, brother.
Any disagreement? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock. I didn't want to hold everybody too long. Sister Tania, you there? Oh, she gone. Okay. I was trying to see if they were having a CVPM meeting today, but what was that? Brother James.
What's going on, bro?
Did you I know you came in a little bit late. Did you hear when we were talking about ideas for the youth?
No, I didn't catch that part. I think I came in after that.
Okay. Well, you on our, as our youth coordinator, you are on our committee for any programs that we have for the youth. It'll be Brother Macias is going to be helping, Sister Ra Ebony, Brother Kim Wardo, and you. But I mean, we don't have nothing set in stone, but I'm glad you're here because we were talking about it earlier, but I didn't want to go too far in depth without you being there. We're talking about reaching out to some community organizers. I don't know the brother's particular title, Brother Kenwardo, but we're looking at trying to do some a basketball tournament.
Okay, so only thing we have to do with us is just set up for like a day because I can schedule everything. It's the brother that's over the rec center in College Park, Georgia. He told me that he would help us. He told us he'll help organizing and everything. And it's open. Whenever we want to utilize, he said he'll help put it together as well. Just let him know.
Brother James, can you take the lead on this?
Yeah, I'll get with Brother Ken Water and get them details. Yeah, that sounds like something good. I know Brother Everett does something like that with our chapter up there. And so I think that'll be real good. I think that's something that'll definitely be enticing that'll to engage the youth. So yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Anything that y'all, anything you need from the division, let me know. We don't got a lot of money, but we got a few $100s, that we can spend if need be.
President John, can we set up meeting days for each committee that's here so we can follow up and actually execute?
Look at you. Well, right now I think let's do this. Right now, I think the business is the furthest along, the most ready to go, most organized. How about we'll come back next Saturday, and if we'll have a standing executive meeting to get things ironed out, and we'll use the executive meeting, for each department. So Thursday we'll have business, and then we'll come back next Saturday for another executive meeting. It seems like we'll be focused on where we are with the youth programs and a follow up for the Legion.
Second that.
Anyone opposed? All in agreement? Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll talk about youth next week. We'll follow up with our Legion next week, and we have mass meeting next Sunday. Brother Macy's, did you want to share anything? I know you had a couple reports that you had sent out.
Well, just mainly earlier to the points you made on meeting today about the list building for businesses and starting our first business. I've been talking to Baba James a lot, and he makes a good point. The Garvey Ice Worldwide is right there. So the main business that was the first one that was in mind was Garvey Ice Worldwide, and having that as the platform where we list those businesses, and those businesses could also pay a fee, but then attaching that to a staffing agency, which actually Rod Ebony has done a lot of research on already, has a lot of business plans about staffing agencies. But us being able to employ our people is so important, but having those businesses on the platform right there for them to be able to not only offer their services, but also offer opportunities for our staffing agencies to come work. So staffing worldwide, making it like an affiliate program where we all get a percentage for pushing people there, for getting the business on the platform and getting people to participate. And that's going to be the next step in building our own economy as we get those businesses to contribute to our African Communities League Business Development Fund for us helping them with employment. What we'll go over in detail on Thursdays, they kind of write out the next steps, have it all on a document that I sent you already. And then I've also been working a lot about the bank idea that the President General threw out. I have a lot of information already prepared for that, which will kind of be the fuel tool for getting people to sign up to the website because that central bank will be able to get those business loans to businesses to help get started and grow. So just trying to, focus on getting our economic development started. And that's really the first business is our economy, is getting the operation and the systems in place for continued growth of businesses, and then as we grow businesses, having to be able to staff as well, because that's the number one problem for business staffing, and then marketing, which we will all be word of mouth with the marketing, telling them about the United businesses that we open. So we'll have that covered.
Okay. So yeah, more information on Thursday. And that is the goal, is as First Vice President is doing. We should all be pushing and promoting ideas that grow into programs, and those ideas and programs mature to the point where we can have continued focused discussions about those ideas. I think that's one of the things that we have overlooked in the past as a division, is getting lost in the weeds, and not necessarily having focus on different departments and what each department is doing. And we've kind of had everyone doing the same thing, which can work, and especially when we're small and when we're growing, that works. But as we mature, we have to start to develop a record that we can hand back to the next generation to show what a more refined approach looks like, and a more focused departmental approach. So thank you, Brother Macy's. You're doing an excellent job. We'll talk about this more on Thursday, and we'll talk again next Saturday morning at 11. Want to be done with this in an hour, so from 11 to 12. If you have anything, please bring it. Be ready to discuss it. If you don't have anything, then I'm going to just go through roles and responsibilities of officers. So I don't have anything else. Thank you, everybody. Is there anybody had anything in closing before we close out?
I hope y'all have a great and productive week.
Thank you, Sister Rod Ebony. So, okay.
Same to you.
All right, Brother James, Brother Kiwardo, we're looking forward to what comes out of the youth discussion. and you know what we need to do as an executive body to help support that and make it a reality. So please let us know. And
okay, I'm sorry.
no, I was getting ready to close out, brother. If you got anything, let say.
I was just but I'll give Brother James my number so we can interact together.
Okay. I'll do a little group text. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. I think I'm gonna set up a group text with our executive officers, and this is only going to be for executive officer information. This is not going to be something where we just putting stuff in there, randomly. I don't even really want people putting anything in there. If you got a question, you can send it back to me directly. But as far as the group, don't mess it up. So, but I'll Brother Camardo, I'll get you and Brother James together right after this meeting.
Yes, sir.
All right, 3:00. I think CBPM is supposed to be meeting at 5. So I need to get a little bit of rest before that meeting. And for those that aren't going to be there, enjoy the rest of your weekend and time with your families. We'll close out with the motto. Brother Maces, would you please close us out?
Put your black right fist in the air. Turn to a flag if you can. One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Race first, family.
Race first.
Race
Race
first.
first.
Peace, family. Oh.